Let's start. Hello.
Mm,
Huh.
mhm,
So we have completed the PHP part. Means actually PHP and PHP with MySQL part. There are
MySQL.
many things inside it. Okay. But as for our syllabus,
Mm,
okay, that
mm,
basic operation of insert, update, and delete. See, this kind of
mm,
operations means this interaction with database. Okay.
mm,
Means it depends on the requirement of your project. Okay,
mm,
if your requirement is means you have to write the code, you have to implement all those technique you as per the requirement of the project. If your project has
mm,
simple card operation, then we have already done. But if your project has complicated requirements, okay, some
mm,
complicated reports you have to print, or
mhm,
anything else, so you have to
mhm,
adjust your operations, okay, according to the
mhm,
requirement of your project. So you can only experience these things when you are doing a project.
Project.
Okay, so without doing a project work, means web application,
Mm,
okay, you will not get the full idea of it.
mm,
See, web applications means writing a web application or web based program has
mm,
many dimensions. Means you have to do lots of
mm,
things. You have to analyze the thing,
mm,
you have to design the thing. Okay, for
mm.
designing you use that html, css,
You.
bootstrap, and everything.
Mm,
Okay, and if
mm,
your project requires handling database, then you need the
mm,
that mysql part, or maybe some other databases. Okay, so
mm,
behind the scene, there are two things. One is your
mm.
HTML, which will give you the basic structure, background
Structure.
structure
Mm,
of the web pages that you are going to design.
mm,
Okay, and
mm,
the PHP. Okay, now what
mm,
PHP is doing? PHP is scripting inside those
mm,
HTML codes to support the background activities for your application.
mhm,
Okay, means if you want to
mm,
fetch some data from the database, or if you want to put some data into the database, those all stuff will be done by
mhm.
the by a server
PHP.
side scripting language like PHP is doing that
Mm,
part. Okay, although nowadays
mm,
there are plenty of other technologies that can do the server side scripting, but PHP is
mhm,
till now it is the easiest way to do that kind of job.
mm,
Okay, and
mhm,
you can say that if there are 100 websites or web portal in the world, okay,
mhm,
then most of them, maybe over
mm,
70% of them are written in PHP because of its
mm,
simplicity. Okay, because of
mm,
its architecture. Okay, although many people will say
mm,
that PHP is not so secure. Okay, that was true.
mm,
That was true
mm,
maybe 7 8 years back. Okay, PHP, or maybe 10
mhm,
years back. But
mm.
it is not 100% true now at the
Nowadays.
current time.
Mm,
Okay, PHP is good
mm,
language. There are many options with PHP. Okay, you cannot
mm,
expect everything from PHP. Like you can expect tight security and high flexibility and robustness. These kind of things that you can expect from Java. Okay, that you cannot
mm,
expect from PHP. But we do not require in every project all those things, right?
mm.
So
Correct.
just like this of our LMS. Okay, this of our LMS.
Mm,
If you want to develop this LMS in PHP, okay, the same thing you can
mm,
do it. You can develop it using Java also, using .NET, using any other language. But the I
mhm,
can assure you the most easiest way to do these things in PHP. This is the
mm,
most easiest
mhm,
uh, language to learn, to implement. Okay, and to
mm,
become a master too. Okay, So PHP
Mhm.
has many dimensions. So whatever we learned
Mm.
so far is we can say this is a scratch PHP, and a basic of scratch
Okay.
PHP, you can say. Scratch
Mhm.
PHP means what? Everything you have to
Very.
write from scratch
Mm.
in your hand.
From the
Okay,
scratch.
from the scratch you have to write every query, every operations you have to write everything. And
Mhm.
if you go a little bit further, then PHP supports object oriented programming, so you can develop your class in PHP. Okay, and those all concepts
Mhm.
of object oriented language can also be applied for
Mhm.
PHP. Okay,
Okay.
and if you move more forward, okay, then you will find
Mm.
something called your frameworks. PHP has so many
Mm.
frameworks and nice frameworks. Okay, um,
Mm.
that makes developers life easy, or maybe the client's life easy.
Mhm.
Why? Because framework
Mhm.
is, what is a framework? Framework is basically design structure, a design pattern which has already been developed by some company, by some person.
Mhm.
Okay, all you have to do, you have to
Mhm.
just download the framework, install it. Okay, I
Mm.
can show you. I have done lots of project in different frameworks in PHP. Okay,
Mhm.
the latest is Laravel, and the
Mhm.
most advanced framework that PHP currently have now. And
Mhm.
many other different types of frameworks are available for PHP for different purpose. Means if you want to develop some
Mm.
blogging site, then you have certain kind of
Mm.
framework. If you want to develop a
Mhm.
cart, online shopping cart, then you have some
Mhm.
kinds of framework. Okay, so like that,
Mhm.
for different purpose, you have
Purpose.
different
Mm.
frameworks. Framework means already developed.
Readily available.
You
Them.
have to just
Mhm.
customize the framework
Customize.
as per your need. Okay,
Mhm.
a very famous framework of PHP is called WordPress. Means
Mhm.
if there are 100 websites in the world currently now, okay, most of them
Mm.
are built under WordPress. Okay, you can say more
Mhm.
than 70% has been built on WordPress. WordPress is a CMS.
Mhm.
CMS stands for Content Management System.
This PHP itself is a framework
No.
or
PHP is a scripting language. More precisely, server scripting language. Means the language that
okay.
a web server can understand. Okay, and why it is
Mm.
scripting? Because you can write the PHP code in pieces and insert the PHP
Mm.
code inside the HTML document. I told in my
Mm.
first class that why it is
Yes.
called a scripting language. PHP is basically embedded. You can embed the PHP code inside the HTML code. Okay, you
HTML
remember
code.
PHP embedded in
Yes.
HTML,
Yes.
HTML embedded in PHP, like that. So
Yes.
you
Yes.
can
I
write the
remember.
code of PHP. Think about a C code, C programming language code,
Mm.
or a Java programming language code. So there you have to write a complete code. Na? You have to write a class name.
Mm.
You have to put some data over there. You have to method, and you may have main method. Okay, so that is a complete code. But in PHP, you do not have
Mm.
to write the code in that way. You can write code in
Mm.
pieces, a small piece of code that you can insert
Mm.
inside a HTML document.
HTML.
That's why it is also called
Mhm.
scripting language. And this scripting
Mm.
language is understandable by the
Mm.
web server. Okay,
Web server.
the most
Got it.
suitable web server is Apache Tomcat, which
Mm.
understand PHP. So
Mhm.
PHP is, so learning PHP in a
Mm.
good way will give you
Mm.
a very good opportunity to find a jobs in, mm, you can say, in mid-level company or lower mid-level company.
Mm.
Okay, so initially if you want to
Mhm.
try to get a chance in the development
Mm.
sector, so maybe you are not able to
Mhm.
find a place in the big corporates. Okay, so to reach to
Mhm.
that corporate place, you need to follow some steps. Okay, so for the very
Mhm.
beginning, you have to join
Mm.
to some company, okay, who are working in the same
Mm.
kind of pattern, but they are not the big companies. Okay, so you have to gather the
Mhm.
working experience from there. uh,
Mhm.
Make yourself an expert in coding, then you can
Practical knowledge
jump for,
coding.
yeah, right. On the basis of experience you can join that big corporate. So initially, to start with, PHP is a very good language for web application development,
Mm.
so it is important.
Mm.
Anyway, so one more aspect is not for PHP
Mm.
only, but for web application development. I told you that when you are thinking to develop a web application, then you have to think multiple things. Okay, first of all, you have to analyze
Mm.
the requirement. Then you have to
Mm.
design the pattern, how the system will look like. Okay, that client part means
Mm.
that HTML,
Mm.
CSS, and all those things. Okay, after that you have to design the database, right? This means
Mm.
how the data will be arranged in your database. Then you have to write
Yes.
the code in PHP to handle those database job.
Mm.
Okay, now think, mm, if you want to communicate,
Mm.
okay, if you want
Mm.
to make a communication between your application with some other
Mm.
application, okay,
Mhm.
then what you have to do, what I am trying to say, this is one aspect of application development, web application development. Say you are developing
Okay.
this app, this is your app, okay,
Mm.
this is
Mm.
your app, you are developing your app. Now,
Mm.
in order to, do some,
Mm.
mouse is, so inside your application you have some feature that needs
Mm.
some data, or
Mm.
yeah, that needs some data from some other
Mm.
application. Okay, from some
Mm.
other application, that other application may be a global application. Okay,
Mhm.
or maybe there are some feature from which you need to send some data to some other application.
Mm.
So this is,
Mm.
I am saying that this is a communication between
Mm.
two different applications, right?
Okay.
And even inside your own application, you may need to communicate
Communicate
with data,
between them.
right? So
Mm.
communication between two different application, communication between two different modules of a same application is needed.
Mhm.
Communication in terms of data means,
Mm.
a module is there, it needs to send some data to other module, and that module is again return some data in that way. Okay,
Mm.
I'm taking a more precise example. Suppose
Mm.
when you are doing online transaction, okay,
Mm.
that time, suppose you are buying something from Amazon, right?
Mm.
So after fixing up your cart, when you are going for
Mm.
payment,
Mm.
then what happened?
Just to communicate with the bank application.
Yeah, a separate a separate page will be opened, and that page does
Mm.
not belong to this site. Na? Say if this is
Yes.
your Amazon, okay,
Mm.
this will be your bank site from where
Yes.
you have to log into your own account and you have to pay, right?
Mm.
So this is a separate application. I'm saying that, right?
Mm.
This is a separate application, and this is
Yes.
a separate application, Amazon.
Mm.
So this application needs to communicate to this bank application, right? And
Yes.
it is sending some data to it, na?
Yes.
the amount and the whatever
Mm.
required the data it need to send, especially the amount and the bank name and the merchant name, everything it need to send to this
Mm.
bank side. Then the bank side will
Mm.
authenticate all those things. Okay, some
Details.
background
Yes. Mm.
information need to be sent by this Amazon,
Mm.
their accounts, their authentication key, everything.
Mm.
So bank side then validate all those information coming from this
Mm.
application. Okay, so what I'm trying to say,
Mm.
so this is one application, this is another application. Over the internet these two
Mm.
applications needs to communicate between themselves and
Communicate between themselves.
trying to pass some data from one to another, right?
Mm. Mm.
So this is one aspect you need to think. Okay, so how to
Mm-hmm.
send, how this Amazon will send those data, okay, to this application. You can think, okay, suppose there is a function, think in C or C++, okay.
Mm.
Now inside this function you are calling another function, right? And
Mm.
within that function you are passing some value, right?
Mm.
So this function is there and this function accepting the value in some variable and doing the task
Mm.
and return some data. So these two
Mm.
functions are trying to communicate between themselves,
Yes.
passing some data, right?
Yes.
So
Mm.
the same thing, I am why I am telling this, I am trying to make you understand. The same thing will
Yes,
happen
I know.
in web
Mm.
application development. Okay, if your application
Mm-hmm.
trying to communicate with some other application by passing some data
Mm.
or by getting some data from it. Okay, say
Mm.
suppose you are trying to design an application, an web application which will fetch, which will get the data feed from YouTube. Okay, means
Mm.
suppose you have a channel and you want to fetch
Mm.
the records, the analytics into your
Mm.
website, into your application.
Mm.
Okay, so
Mm.
you, so that you can display the content over there, that you can easily do. You
Mm.
can fetch the YouTube videos. So how YouTube will send
Mm-hmm.
you all those data? So there
Commun-
is a
Yes,
need
of
of communication between
communication.
web application, okay, and
And the
need to
YouTube.
pass
Mm.
lots of data. Okay, I can show you
Mm.
that huge amount of data has been transferred from one application to another application. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the way is, so we have to make an arrangement so that one application can send data to another application. Okay, and clearly
Mm.
the data cannot be sent just like this. A single variable will send all the data. It's not just like a function call, na.
Mm.
So how to send the data
So
from
many
one application
parameters.
to, yeah, how to send the data from one application to another application? So the technology is XML and JSON.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so these are the two
Mm-hmm.
most commonly used
Mm.
technique to pass or to communicate or to send data from one application, web application. Not only web application, you
Mm-hmm.
can apply the same thing. I used personally use JSON for normal
Mm.
application too. Okay, because it is very
Mm-hmm.
much convenient. So XML and JSON are the two
Mm.
technique how you can send a formatted data from one web application or one application to another application. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
one thing I tell you here, the formatted data. Okay, formatted data
Mm-hmm.
is a good term to understand.
Yes.
Data can be
Yes, it's more organized.
yeah, organized data. You cannot send data just like anything. Okay,
Mm.
so every application have some their own specific uh, format. So you have to pass the data in that
Mm.
format only. So means when this
Mm.
Amazon send the data, okay, to the
Mm.
bank side, that bank side have their
Mm.
own specific format and that format has been given to the Amazon. Okay, prior when
Mm.
Amazon was building their own site, every bank has their
Mm.
own set of format. Okay, so you have to pass the data
Mm.
in that format only, so then only the bank side will accept your data. Okay,
Mm.
so how to format those data? The common technology is
Mm.
XML and JSON. Okay, these are the two techniques how
Mhm.
you can format your data. Okay, and
Okay.
both the data are in textual format, text format.
Okay.
Okay, say you have a database full of data, that MySQL database
Mm.
or Oracle database you can have, but you cannot send those data directly to the other application, na? Because
Yes.
that other application need to can't deal with that kind of data. Means you cannot send a
Mm.
whole table of data from one to another
Mm.
end. Okay, so there is a way how to pass the data in most uh, convenient way. So textual data is the way, means text data in text
Format.
format is the
Mm.
data that you
Most
can
appropriate
send,
way to.
yeah, that you can send from one end to
Mm.
another, and the other application can, if it
Receive
has
them.
the right information, okay, right definition,
Mm.
then it can understand those data. Okay, now see this
Mm.
xml nowadays.
Mm.
XML are, means you can say, are not used so often. Okay, although
Mm-hmm.
it is not obsolete,
Mm-hmm. JSON
but
is the most
uh,
common.
JSON is the most currently used and the most convenient way to communicate with data. Okay, I'm showing you. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
if you think about 10 to 8 years back, then XML was
Mm-hmm.
a favorite. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the web applications are communicating themselves by passing XML data in XML format. But nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
every application is communicating with data JSON. This is because JSON
Okay.
is lighter than XML. XML is heavier. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
With XML,
Okay.
you need to send the definition to some other application.
Mm-hmm.
And XML parsing, means understanding of XML, is
Mm.
time consuming and take more time than JSON.
Amen. Mm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because when you are passing data in either of the form
Mm.
from one application to another application, this application need to translate your data, na?
Mm.
It need to understand the data. So to understand the data, it need to implement a program using JavaScript. Okay, or in
Mm.
any other scripting language. It need to understand.
Okay.
So
Mm.
in that sense, JSON is most preferable, because JavaScript
Okay.
works very fine with JSON. JavaScript have inbuilt operation to understand the JSON. You do not have to do
Okay.
any extra bit of task to understand JSON. But in case
Mm-hmm.
of XML, it is time consuming than JSON. Okay,
Mm.
and it is heavier. So nowadays
Mm-hmm.
people are looking for JSON only. Most of the mobile
Okay.
applications. Okay, the last application
Mm-hmm.
also, I told you that news portal
Mm.
wala. So
Mm.
every
I have
communication,
downloaded it.
yeah.
Uh,
So
and I was first
every
seeing
communication
that
has been
update.
transferred. Those all news feeds
Mm.
and everything has been transferred through
Mm-hmm.
JSON. Okay, JSON data. So
Mm-hmm.
mobile apps specifically
Okay.
based on JSON data. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
every mobile apps, you should understand, if it is not a not only a simple mobile app which will run only on mobile devices. Okay, so database driven
Mm-hmm.
mobile apps just like news portal or your shopping carts. So
Mm.
every such kind of mobile application has their own web application. Okay, and their own web
Mm.
server. So from that web server, a special program is running who is actually supplying the data to the
Mm.
mobile device. What mobile device is
Mm.
actually doing, mobile device doing nothing, it is just displaying your data in that kind of format.
Mm.
It's nothing, it's doing nothing. Okay, everything is done
Mm-hmm.
from the background, from the
The web
server.
application.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
the great deal of data communication happens between a mobile device and the respective server.
Web server.
And so
Mm.
data exchange done completely on JSON. Not a single mobile application nowadays you can find who are dealing with XML kind of data.
XML.
Okay. So let's take a very simple example, and I'm just trying to show you the difference between the two. Suppose,
Okay.
okay, you have XML in your syllabus, right?
Mm,
See here, you have XML in your syllabus, okay,
mm,
and you do not have JSON, but to make it relevant, so I will give you the example. I will show you the same
mm-hmm.
example in JSON too, okay, and after that you have
Okay.
Ajax, okay, and
Mm,
Jquery. So my plan is to complete these three things today. Let's see how much we can do.
okay.
See here, suppose you want to pass some information about a student to,
Mm,
you want to design a data, okay,
okay.
for a school, you can say. So I'm taking
Mm,
inside a school you have two kind of entity, teachers and student, right?
mm. Yes.
So let me quickly develop design a XML for that. Say I'm just, okay, I'm using Notepad plus plus. You can use
Okay.
any editor.
Mm,
So to write an XML, you should
mm.
write this thing first: XML version 1.0.
Including version we need to write.
Yeah,
Mm,
although you may skip that declaration, but it is better to have that declaration.
mm,
Say I'm giving name school.xml. Okay, see,
mm,
now XML, I'm not describing the whole XML that you can read through the PPT. Okay, and you do not
mm,
need XML any in any depth. Okay, so
mm,
XML is just like HTML. Only difference is that
mm-hmm.
it has no predefined tags, right? You
Okay.
cannot expect any tag like bold, okay, italic,
Mm,
H1,
mm-hmm.
H2, those kinds of HTML tags are now uh, absent
Predefined tags
from.
are not there.
Yeah, there is no predefined tag.
XML. Okay.
Whatever you write, that will be your own tag. Okay, so you have to design the
Mm.
database. We are designing a data format that we will pass from one application to another application. Means we want to
Another
send
application.
some student and faculty information
Mm,
of our school
exact.
to some other application. So this is our purpose.
Mm.
Okay, so there is a
Okay.
root, there will be a root parameter, I mean, means a root tag, say
Mm-hmm.
school. So this is our root tag,
Okay.
school. Inside school we have two things, na? Student
Mm. And teacher.
and teachers, and teachers,
Mm.
teachers. Okay, inside student
Mm.
we will have some student, say let's uh, we are giving information of two students.
mm,
So I am giving, these are all, these tags are just I am writing, okay, for my own.
got it.
You can write anything, okay,
User defined, we can say, right?
right. These are all user defined. So this
Mm,
student will contain, I am just writing role, say 101,
mm,
and this is case sensitive, you should remember.
mm. Okay.
uh, and just three information, and I want to
Mm.
put the records for another student.
SHA.
Just copying the record,
Mm.
so it will be,
SHA, my spelling.
sorry,
SHA.
SHA, acha acha,
Huh.
just like that, okay.
Mm,
We can have a teacher,
mm,
say for teacher, say teacher
mm,
and teacher, and for teacher I'm giving ID just like one, maybe Bengaluru. Oh,
mm.
sorry, I should not give role to the teacher, rather I am giving ID.
ID. Mm,
I can have multiple teachers, so this thing will be
mm,
repeated here. Got it? So this is your XML
mm.
document, just like that. This is your XML
Oh.
document. You save it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can see the means how it actually look like. Okay, Mm,
Mm,
this will look like as it is, okay. This total data will be transferred to the other application, that other application have to understand what is there inside this student tag. So it will, the other application will not understand, it will not know na what are the tags are there, what are the significance of that tags. For that purpose we have to send a
mm.
separate document that is called DTD, okay. So that
Okay.
is time consuming, means that other application will
Mm,
have to understand, will have to read the DTD first. From there it has to gather the knowledge what is the structure of your XML, then it has to parse
mm,
the XML document, okay. That will kill the
mm,
time. Anyway, you can run this file
mm,
in your browser too, and these browsers are clever enough to understand your XML document. You can run it on Google Chrome. Let me run it on Google
okay.
Chrome. See here. This is the way how you can visualize the data. Okay. Say these are just like that.
Okay.
Okay. You can click this thing, it will collapse. Inside it. If you click this thing, students tag will be collapsed. Inside student tag, you are having two students. Okay.
Mm,
This thing will be parsed by a JavaScript program which will iterate over these tags, and it will find how many tags inside there, and that way it will get the data. It need to be it that program will fetch the actual data is this thing na? So
mm.
that program will fetch this data from these tag list. Okay, so showing these tag lists
Okay.
are a bit complicated, but 10 years back it was the only technology. Okay, so it was highly popular, but nowadays
Mm-hmm.
JSON is applied. Okay, so you can run
It is
this thing
saved
on,
as a XML file. Huh?
yeah, this is .xml file. And this XML file is not there to show the data like in this format. Means you do not have to run the XML file in on web browser. The purpose is to
Mm-hmm.
send this file from one application to other application. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So see, the same thing, I will transfer the same thing in JSON format. Okay. Now
Mm-hmm.
JSON has many flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
This one of them is JSON. In JSON, you can use array. And JSON, what is the full form of JSON? JavaScript. It's deals
JavaScript.
with JavaScript. Okay, and it is meant for JavaScript.
Mm.
So XML was not like that.
Mm.
XML was not not have any relation with JavaScript, but JSON has direct relation with JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript
Mm.
object notation, that is JSON,
Object notation.
object
Mm.
notation. So mm, uh,
Mm.
JSON was built on the object pattern of JavaScript. That's why JSON has been understand by the JavaScript automatically. Okay, so how this
Okay.
you need to implement means how this document, if you want to write this document in JSON format, then how will you do that? See, to write a JSON document, you need this thing first. Save it.
Curly bracket.
.json is the extension. Okay,
Extension.
this thing you do not have in your syllabus, but still just take a 5 minute
Mm.
and I'm writing those things. So this
Okay.
is the whole JSON object. Okay,
Mm.
so you have school, right? So you
Mm.
can give name to school. So inside school, what you have? Inside school, what you have? You
Student
have
and teacher.
students and teacher. Okay,
Mm.
so we can say that we do not even write the name of the school. Okay, we can directly write students. Okay, and we can
Mm.
give an array. Now array look like this.
Mm.
This is an array. Okay, the inside
Mm.
that you will have an array called student, and you will
Mm.
have an array of
Teacher.
teachers. This colon is, you have to remember, the colon is must.
Mm.
What this pattern?
Mm.
Okay, so this is the complete JSON object. Inside that JSON object, you have two elements. One is your student, comma,
Another one is
another is
teacher.
teacher. You if you have some other, so you give comma and write again another.
And write the other thing.
Inside student, what you have three students or two
Roll
students. So those
to student.
two students, you can have, you can format the data for the two students in this way. Here, this is the recursive. Okay, so
Mm.
here you have roll, and you give roll
Mm.
101, comma, here you have name, give name, just like that. Give the comma, city. This is your first student. If you want to have another student, then what you will do? You will put a comma and put the bracket here.
Mm.
Two. That's all. So this is a
Mm.
complete student array, and inside the student array, each element, these are the element of the array. You understand? This is the zeroth element, this is the
Mm.
one element, each element corresponding to the data. You
Array.
can find
Did.
some similarity with the dictionary from Python, no?
Associate dictionary. Yes.
And associative array in PHP. Okay,
Mm.
so this JSON object is perfectly matched with those kind of data structures.
Mm.
Okay, so in
Mm.
teacher, so you will have some teachers the same way. For
Mm.
teacher, it will be ID, the one folder. So this is your complete JSON object. Okay.
Mm.
Now, in the same way that XML you can run on web browser, JSON you cannot run JSON object on web browser. Okay. So if you want to run the
Okay.
JSON object on web browser, then how it will display? You can see it will display just like that. Okay. So if you want to display, if you want to parse the JSON object, then you can go for some online JSON editor.
Oh.
JSON editor or viewer, you can say online JSON viewer. See, I use this one. Here, you just copy your JSON data,
Mm.
your JSON data. See, this is the JSON format. See, this is zeroth element, this is one element, you got it.
Mm.
Okay, so this is the whole JSON object. See what it is saying? JSON object having two posts,
Two
two,
prop.
two
Mm.
properties. So inside that there are two things: students and teachers.
And
Inside
teacher.
student have two items. First
Mm.
item is this one, second item is this one. Inside the
Gaurav and
first
second
item,
one
you
is
will have
Mason.
this. So this is the formatted
Mm.
and very well structured. This can be easily parsed using JavaScript, using PHP, using Java, anything.
Mm. Mm.
Okay. Just you need a for loop. The for each loop is there, and you will
Mm.
get reach to every piece of data. Okay. And also it is
Yes.
lightweight. You do not need to pass any extra DTD with it,
Mm.
something like that. Okay, so it is completely written in string format. You can pass a whole string, a complete string, and parse
To
that
JSON data.
string back into JSON format. Okay,
Mm.
so JSON is your current need. So if you want to learn for data communication, then you have to learn the JSON. XML
Mm.
is not used at all nowadays, but still you have that thing in your syllabus, so you have to learn the thing.
We'll learn that.
So that was all about XML. I'm not going in detail for XML.
Mm.
Next, you have something called Ajax. But before Ajax, you must know jQuery. They have make a miss because jQuery, you need to understand jQuery first before
Mm-hmm.
learning Ajax. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe
Will.
they are using Ajax with only JavaScript. I did not go
Mm-hmm.
inside that thing, but jQuery we
Mm.
will do something jQuery. It will be an interesting one for you, jQuery.
Okay.
But to understand
Mm.
jQuery, you must understand JavaScript.
Okay.
You remember what is JavaScript?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is jQuery? jQuery is basically a library for JavaScript. Now, what is a library?
Library. Yeah.
Library, right? It is a library for JavaScript. Means you can say just like modules in Python,
Mm.
header file. Just 1 minute, Shashiji.
Mm.
Okay, so what is jQuery? JQ. My mouse is not so smooth. Sorry.
Yeah.
JQuery. jQuery is basically a library for JavaScript. Okay. Now,
Mm.
what is a library? It's just like a module in
mm,
your Python. You can
mm,
compare it with a header file for C, or you can compare it
mm.
with a package for Java. So just
Java.
like
Mm,
jQuery is a library for JavaScript. Okay,
mm,
so you have to know JavaScript for
mm.
jQuery. Okay?
jQuery.
Now, what we can do with jQuery? In fact, we
Mm,
can do anything with jQuery. So, in
mm,
today's websites or web pages, whatever the animations and whatever the effects you see,
mm,
those are all made
mm,
of jQuery and your CSS. Okay, all the effects. That means you move your
mm.
mouse. Okay, something is highlighted. Okay, so everything,
Mm.
every effect has been done by jQuery and
jQuery
CSS
and
mixed together.
CSS.
Okay,
Okay.
so jQuery, whatever you can do with jQuery, you can do the thing with JavaScript. Okay, but
Mm,
writing the same code in JavaScript will make your program much longer. Okay, so jQuery
mm-hmm,
has some inbuilt capacity to do the
mm-hmm.
stuff for you. Okay, and to
Okay.
learn jQuery means if you learn jQuery, really, if you want to learn jQuery, then
Mm-hmm,
the best thing is go for jQuery's own website. This is the website for jQuery. Okay,
mm-hmm,
so you can learn API documentation. You have some learning center here. Okay, so
mm-hmm,
no need to purchase books and anything. So this is the best means documents or the material you have
mm-hmm,
to learn
mm-hmm.
jQuery. Okay, and obviously W3 school
Okay.
is always there for you.
All the same. Mm-hmm,
What is the advantage of learning jQuery? Those who wants to develop their career in front-end development, they must know jQuery.
mm-hmm,
Okay, front-end
mm-hmm,
development means this website designer. Those who wants to be a
mm-hmm,
website designer, they must learn jQuery.
mm-hmm,
Okay,
mm-hmm,
learning jQuery will give them a very big advantage. Okay, now jQuery is vast. jQuery is, I can say, too much of thing are there in
mm-hmm,
jQuery. So we
mm-hmm,
could not learn the jQuery completely in any class. Okay, but we will
uh-huh,
do some sorts of things in jQuery here.
mm-hmm,
Okay, but for that,
mm.
first thing what you have to do, you need that library reference. Now you remember
Mm.
to
Yes.
use a package in Java, you need to do something, import something. Na?
Yes.
Okay, so here also, if you want to use the jQuery in your web page, then what you have to do? Okay, just let me
Yes.
open my VS Code now. In VS Code, I would like to add the folder, my
Mm.
our web folder.
Okay.
So this will be your jQuery. So I would like to add this folder. Okay. So inside this folder, I am just creating one file. Say taste dot. Uh, you can write HTML. Okay, you can write PHP. You can write anything. And in
Mm-hmm.
HTML, I am taking the template
Yeah, jQuery
uh,
template.
code. Okay.
Mm.
Now here we need to give the reference of jQuery. Okay.
Mm.
jQuery can be referenced in two ways.
Okay.
This side, from this side, you can get the complete jQuery file. Okay.
Okay.
See a download. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, download the compressed production. You can download uncompressed file. Means you can see the whole body inside it.
Mm.
You can
Mm.
develop
Not
with
the zip format file.
no, it is not zip, it is not compile, it is completely readable things. Okay, so you
Mm.
can develop your jQuery by your own. Okay, you can copy
Mm.
the content from there. You can develop your own customized sorts of things from there also. Okay, so
Okay.
if you
Mm-hmm.
if you like to uncompress version, then just download it. Just
Mm-hmm.
download the file, save the link, and I am just saving this file inside our
Mm.
document,
Web tech folder,
that
document folder.
webtech inside jQuery folder.
Mm.
Okay, so you can keep this file
Okay.
in JS folder. You can do any sorts of
Mm.
thing. Okay, so just saving that file over there. See how it look like. The file look like this is a JavaScript file. This
Mm.
icon signifies that it is a JavaScript file. Okay, you can open it
Mm.
and you can read the entire body. Now you have to link
Mm-hmm.
these two file together. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
how to link it? JavaScript. How to link that two file
Link.
using script tag. Inside head, you have to use
Mm.
script tag, and you have to give src, and inside src you have to give the name of the file. So I am taking the name of the file. You can rename the file to any name. Okay, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
just keeping the name intact, and .js is the extension. So this thing we need to write just that. So now you can use jQuery
Mm.
in your program. Okay,
Okay.
you can use jQuery in your program.
Mm.
So the first part is completed. So what you have to do to use jQuery, you have to download the jQuery file to your folder. You have to keep that file somewhere in your root folder, no, your web
Mm.
folder. So this is our root folder jQuery. So you have to keep that file inside your root folder or inside any subfolder under this root, and you have to link the file with the mm, uh, with your program body in HTML document.
Mm. Mm.
Another way is there how you can do that thing. Okay, you do not want to
Mm.
download the file. You can give a direct web reference. Okay,
Mm.
for that you can write jQuery CDN. See, this is jQuery CDN. Means you will be provided say uncompressed 2.1. You need 3.1. See here. This is the just copying the thing. Copy. See. This is the
Mm.
two way how you can include the jQuery library in your file,
Mm.
in your HTML. The first one is
Okay.
you are just downloading the whole jQuery file into your root folder and then
Mm-hmm.
link it with your page. And the second one is you are just
Mm.
giving the web reference to the same file.
Mm.
See, same file. Okay. This is called
Mm.
CDN, Content Development Network. So they are actually saving that file from in their server, and we are using that reference. So using that reference you can
Okay.
also link your page to the
Mm.
jQuery library. Okay, so for
Okay.
reference I am just keeping this thing under comment. This is the two way how you can use the jQuery, right?
Take that in the program. Okay.
The first part is complete. Now second thing, what we can
Mm.
do with jQuery. We can do any kind of thing that we can do with JavaScript. Okay, so for that, the first one is how to refer or how to identify the individual element of a web page. Say I
Okay.
have something, say div.
Mm.
So there is a div.
Mm.
Inside that div, I'm writing India. I'm just giving you the basic idea. And inside another
Okay.
div, I'm just writing Australia. Okay. And with that, I have a p tag,
Mm.
and I have a h2 tag. Say, okay. Now what you can do? I just want to run this file. Say how to run this file. Since it is a HTML file, I can run it by using double click. Okay.
Mm.
So these are the some content. Okay. Now you
Mm.
understand that these two contents are coming from div, no? And this is
Yes.
p tag, and this is your
Mm.
h2 tag.
Feedback.
Okay.
Check.
So if you want to do any sorts of thing with these elements, then you have to
Mm.
uh, identify, or you have to catch these elements. Okay. In
Mm-hmm.
jQuery, we call this thing as selection. Okay. You have to
Okay.
select the element. For that purpose,
Mm-hmm.
you have many kinds of selectors in jQuery. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how to get to reach to that elements by using selectors. Okay. You can have many
Okay.
kinds of selector in jQuery. We will see a
Mm.
few. Just a
Okay.
minute. Where to write actually jQuery code? You can write jQuery code anywhere in your document, but
Okay.
this is preferred area. Script at the bottom of the document. There you can
Okay.
write your jQuery code. Okay. Now the first selector
Mm.
is the document. So to identify, you need that the browser need to identify that this is a jQuery selector. So you have to give a
jQuery
dollar
selector.
sign. Okay. So inside
Okay.
dollar, you should give the first selection, that is document. Now what is a document? You know what is a document? Document is
Me.
this one. I'm just deleting it. This one is document, the whole body. This is called document. Okay. This whole
Mm-hmm.
web page, this white
It's called
area,
document.
okay, this is the document.
Mm.
And the browser,
Mm.
any browser, okay, need
Mm.
maintain this document uh, with a very sophisticated kind of data structure or model that is called DOM, document object model.
Mm-hmm.
Means you can say that in a web page like Amazon or
Mm.
anything is a big web portal. Okay, how many
Mm.
elements will be there? How many HTML elements?
So
Those
the
tags. There are, means lakhs of
many many.
HTML elements will be there in a
Mm.
single page. So how to maintain all
Mm.
those all those tags? So that are properly structured and maintained under a model that is called DOM, DOM, document object model.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so document is the root of all those elements.
Mm-hmm.
That is completely object oriented concept. Okay, one object comes under another object. This is a hierarchical even. Okay, so document
Mm-hmm.
object model, you can easily understand that. See here, HTML is the first root element. You can say this is the parent. Inside that you have two things, na?
Mm.
This head and this body.
And body.
Okay,
Mm.
inside body you have this div. So this div becomes child of this body. This body becomes
Mm.
child of this HTML tag. So
Mm.
this way the whole document object model kept all the tags intact. So dollar document
mm,
dot. So this is an object. Dollar document is an object. Okay.
mm.
Dot. You have, see here, you have plenty of functions. Okay. Most of them are events.
Okay.
These are called events. Now, why these are called
Mm,
events? See here, this length is not an event, but this key up and key press are the events. See here, violet colors. This is my VS Code. So VS Code has these kinds of color scheme. Okay, so this document is the object name, means that white
mm,
area. So if you give dot, you
mm.
will get the properties of that particular object. So
Object.
in VS Code, whatever you will get in this pattern, these are all.
Mm,
See here, mouse enter. These are all event. Means what
mm,
happen if you enter the mouse inside this object, document object.
mhm.
Okay, but this thing, this length is not the event. That's why it has a different color syntax, right? So it is
Okay.
basically a property.
In
It will
property.
give you the length of the document, means in number of bytes.
Mm,
Okay, something like that.
mhm.
So key press, again, key press is an event. Means what will happen if you press a key for this object. Okay, now if you
Okay.
have another element, say h1. So for h1
Mm,
you will again get some kind of event like this. Okay, so what will
okay.
happen if a key press on the particular event? So that can be defined. I'm showing you. So document dot ready, this is one function. Okay, see
Okay.
here, document dot ready. See, this is tricky here. Okay, learning JavaScript is easy, but jQuery is not so easy. So you have to follow
Mhm.
some basic criteria first. Okay, so just follow me. So document dot
Mm,
ready, that means when the document is ready, okay, then what you have to
mm.
do, you can specify it here. How? I will show you.
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
uh, one more thing, that what you understand by
Mm,
document dot ready, that means, see, when you press enter, when you open a web page, something like that, say Amazon, just follow, because nowadays computers and internet are too fast. See here, this is the
mm,
time. So when I am clicking on this, so see here, Amazon is
mm,
not loading. See here, it takes a few seconds na, to load.
mm.
So document.ready means that function will be triggered.
Called.
That function will be called, or you can say that event
Mm.
will be triggered only when the complete
Triggered.
all sets of element inside that particular page has been transferred to
Is
this browser.
loaded. Mhm.
Okay, so you want to define a task when the document is completely ready, right?
Ready.
Now, what you want to do here? Say, suppose when the document is ready, you want to print a message, "Hello, welcome," in a alert
Mhm.
box. Okay. Now you know how to
Mhm.
write a alert box. That is from JavaScript. Okay. But how to write it?
Mhm.
You have to write like that. You have to define a function. You can write a function here, anonymous function. This is called
Mhm.
anonymous. You are not going to give any name to that function. You just have to write like that
Mm.
function, and you have to give the bracket. You understand?
Okay. Declaration.
How to write a JavaScript function? If you remember,
Mm.
so this is the syntax of JavaScript function. Function, fun, and this is the syntax of JavaScript function. How to write a
Yes.
JavaScript function? See here. Okay.
Function header and the function body.
Uh,
Mm.
so since you are giving a name to this function, so this is a named function.
Mm.
If you
It's
remove
an
this,
anonymous
if
function.
you remove this,
Mm.
okay, then this is an unnamed function. We call this kind of function
Mm.
as anonymous function.
Anonymous
You could
function.
remember the lambda expression from Java. Last year
Mm.
we did something. Okay.
Mm.
So we do not need any kind of name. Why we do not need any kind of name for this kind of function? Because see here, we name for something, for anything, okay, whether it is a
mm,
in the case of a person, a building, a place, we need a name. Why? Because we want to refer, okay, we want to
mm.
refer
That
to that
function later.
particular element, right? If
Mm,
you do not want if you do not know the name of a particular place, then how you can refer it to me, that place, about that place, you
mm.
cannot say. Okay, so in the same
Yes.
way, the name for this function is required to call this function explicitly. Okay,
Mm.
but if I say that this function will be called automatically, see here, when the document is ready, okay,
Ready.
this function will be called automatically. So do we really need any
Automatically.
name here? Because
No
this
need.
function only be called when the document is ready and never else.
Yes.
Got it? So you do not
Yes.
basically need the function name here. That's
Reference.
why the function
Mm.
name has been omitted from there.
Yes. Uh, okay.
You got the idea, having this anonymous
Yes. Yes.
function.
I got it.
Okay,
Yes.
so here is the body you have to write. Just press a enter. So this is the area where you have to write the code. What is the code we have? Alert. We promise to print welcome to. Once you just understand the basic few things, then jQuery will amaze you. You can do lots of things. Okay, see, that is all about
Okay.
the jQuery. You got it?
Yes.
Okay, just run this thing. See here, I'm just refreshing it. Okay, see,
Mm.
since the file is too small, so it took in fact no time to load
This fraction
already,
of
and
load.
you will get welcome to jQuery. Got it?
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So see here, if you want to say that, okay, mm, uh, when I click on this Bangalore, okay, then certain
Mm.
thing means I want to print some hello message. Clicking on Bangalore
Mm-hmm.
means clicking on
Okay.
Bangalore, just like that.
Bengaluru.
I'm clicking on Bangalore. Okay.
Mm.
So then,
Mm.
how can you do that thing? See here. So dollar inside that, what is the tag name? H2. So you have
H2.
to give H2. Remember, when you
H1.
are giving document, you should not put that document inside this code.
H1 was the document, I think.
No,
No,
this is
H1 it
H2.
was.
No, this is H2. This is H2.
H2. Okay.
Bangalore is
I
under
have
H2
taken it
tag.
as H1.
Okay. So you have to write H2. So if it is a tag name, then you have to give it inside the double quote. But if it is a object name, then you have to give inside.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to do not have to give it inside the double quote, right?
Within quotes. Okay.
So dot. So what I said, that when I click on Bangalore, that means actually I am not clicking on Bangalore. I am actually clicking on this H2 tag, right? So
Mm.
click is an event. See here, you have click is an event. So whenever you are clicking,
Mm-hmm.
you want to do some sorts of thing. See, this is the
Mm-hmm.
syntax. Now, what you want to do? Obviously, a function means an activity. That activity will be
Mm.
given using this anonymous function body, right?
Function. MS function.
So just writing this and press an enter. So this is the place where you have to write. So what thing? I'm just
Alert.
alerting.
Uh,
Hello, I am clicked. Just simple task. Okay. Now let's see.
mm.
Refresh. So the first thing, document.ready. After that,
Document
nothing
is
happens.
alert.
If I click on
Mm.
this, then I am.
Bengaluru. Then the first.
If I click on
Mm.
this, then it will come. So you can understand that every time I'm clicking on this, this is fired. This event is fired on the H2 tag, right? You got it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, here one thing I must tell you, that you can put this function inside this. Why? Because see here,
Like in element
what
of
is the first
document.
activity will happen for this page? Document.ready, right?
Mm.
Until the document is ready for you, then you cannot do any kind of thing.
Load this page.
Okay.
Mm.
So it is much logical to keep this code inside this document.ready function, because
Yes.
everything you need to perform on the document after the document is ready, na? Otherwise it will
Yes.
not task, means it will not work for you. So it is more
Mm.
logical to write this code inside this function. Got it?
Mm.
If you are not understanding this thing, then I can put this thing out of this code.
No, no, no.
That
It's
will also
okay
work
for me.
for
Yeah.
the time being. But it is always logical
Mm.
to do this kind of
Put it
thing.
within the ready. Ready function.
Okay. Now see, I am writing one more h2 tag here above h2.
Mm.
Say welcome to
Further
jQuery.
thing. Mm. Mm.
Welcome to jQuery. Save it. Now I am refreshing it. Okay. Now here you have two h2. Now
H2 tag.
if I
Mm.
click on this, you will get hello I am clicked. If I click on this, what will happen? Same thing will happen.
I don't know if
Hello I am click on this, right?
because it would have taken
So
both the elements.
we have mentioned that whenever a click event is fired on h2 item, h2 tag,
Then
this thing will happen, right?
the alert message will be displayed.
That is fine, no problem. But if our intention is different, that no, I do not want, I when I click on Bengaluru, then only this kind of thing happen. But
Mm.
for all other h2, this should not take place. Then what you
Mm-hmm.
do? So there are some other technique I will tell
Try
you.
some.
But before that,
Mm-hmm.
see, I want to customize this thing. When I click on this, it will say, uh, "Hello, I am clicked," or it will write this code. Means Bangalore will be printed. Welcome
Mm.
jQuery will be printed. If I want to do that kind of thing, then what I will do? Hmm, if I want to do that thing, just wait. I'm writing something. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, just want to give some space. Okay. See, just see the output first. If I am clicking on Bengaluru, then hello, I am clicked
Mm.
Bengaluru, right? If I click on
Mm.
this, then hello, I am clicked welcome to jQuery. So somehow I am able to get the respective
Data from
um, data, or you can say the
element,
text.
data
Okay.
element tag.
So how I am doing that thing? See here, say dollar
So
this.
return to variable.
What is this? This is the current object. Okay. The
Mm.
same way, I did not put this document inside double quote. In the same way, I am not putting this thing inside the double quote, because this is the object name. This is not any tag. This is not anything else. This is the object name.
Mm.
Now, what kind of object? This is the self object. Okay. So the same this pointer. So what this
Mm.
is refer? This is referred to this h2, because see where I am inside this h2 tag click event. No, we are inside the
Yes.
click event for h2 tag. So inside this function body, wherever you put this, it will refer to the same h2 tag. Got it?
Same. Mm.
So dollar this dot html, this dot html is a function in jquery which will give you the respective html code inside that h2 tag or inside any tag. You are getting the thing.
Okay. Mm.
So I am keeping that value inside a variable and just printing that variable, nothing else. It's very simple.
Mm.
Okay, so dot html will give you the respective text inside that tag. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now see, if you want to do some more task, what again I am just writing dot html. I'm just trying, huh?
Mm. Making that control display italics.
Hmm? Can you
So since you're
guess what will
making
happen?
that text in italics,
Okay,
that
let's see.
only the state name.
You got it. What it does,
Just
it
click again.
changes
Ah,
the
it does.
html. Okay,
Ah,
this is one kind of animation, na? See,
ah,
so many things you can do with amazing stuff, but just by writing a one two line. Okay, I can show you
mm,
plenty of
mm.
things, but we do not have too much of time. Okay, but I can send you some of my sample or demo programs. From there you can easily
Okay.
understand. Okay,
Okay.
the, how the things you can do it. Okay,
Okay.
so just one more thing I have to tell you here, that see, this sort of task we have done for
Mm,
all the h2 tag. Whenever you have a h2 tag in your document, so if you click on
mm,
that h2 tag, it will happen. That function will take place. Got it? The same
mm,
function will take place.
mm.
But you do not want that. You want to make some specific task for specific tag, right? See here, for that purpose, I have made two divs. One div is showing India, another is showing
And Australia.
Australia, right? So
Mm,
let's make some style into it. You remember how to write style?
CSS.
CSS, using CSS, sure.
Style.
Style. Inside style, I'm writing
Link.
class. Okay, one class. Say dot my class one.
Across. Mm,
Okay. So inside my class one, I'm giving a border. Then giving a border style, border hyphen.
Then it became again colon.
Oh, that's why it is not giving the help. If the help is not there, then we cannot do anything. Okay. Not personally, I do not remember anything, because why should I remember?
Well, there is always available there.
Yeah. I remember the technology. So border color, you just give some border color. say maybe the brown,
Mm.
say background, give some background color.
BG color, or
No,
background color.
background color. I'm
Mhm.
very weak in color select. Acha. So give some text color, means the foreground
Text
color.
color,
I'm giving
foreground
foreground
color.
color as brown, and
Mm.
I want to make a width of 300 pixel,
Pixel.
and I'm giving a padding
Mm.
of 2%. Okay.
Mm.
So this is a style, simple style. I'm writing inline style.
Mm.
So I want to apply this style to this div. So how to write? So class my
My
class
class one. We did not take it.
my class one. Okay.
Mm.
Let's see how it appears. See here.
Mm.
So this
Mm.
is due to padding. This 2%. It is coming
Yes.
just
Mm.
leaving. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So this is the div. Okay.
Mm.
Now, suppose you have some
Right.
another style. So this is your my class
Two.
2, 2, and you did not do many things. You just convert this color to reverse. Just make it this one, and
Mm.
just
Brown.
make it brown, and just make
This
it
is aquamarine.
aquamarine. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So
My class two.
yeah, my class 2.
Div
This
class
is
is
my
equal
class
to.
2. Okay. Now what you want to
This we have
do?
to add it here.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. We have to add it to div class of Australia, no?
No, I do not want that. Okay.
Mm.
I just keep this div to
Mm.
represent that I will do the task for this div only, not this div.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So to differentiate between these two divs, I need something called ID. ID equal to this I am putting as D1. Okay.
Mm.
And for ID of this is D2. So
D2.
I will select this tag using this ID now.
Mm.
Got it?
Got it.
So how can I do that thing? Say I am taking a button here
Mm.
and say ID is equal to B1
Mm.
change. Okay. So how it
Mm.
all looked? It looked like this change. So when I'm
Mm.
clicking this button, I want to change the scheme,
Interchange the
change the
mm,
uh, okay, how
color
to do
scheme
that?
of that.
So just keep this button beneath that tab, that div,
Mm.
just like that. Okay.
Mm.
Now I am writing the jQuery. Now see what I want. I want to add a click event for this button. So whenever this button is clicked,
Mm.
the change will take effect on
Mm.
this div. Okay, so this
Mm.
div has ID D1. Okay, so we will catch this div using this ID, and we will catch this button using
Mm.
this B1. So all the stuff I want to perform only when the document is ready. That's why I'm writing
Ready.
this inside
So,
this document.ready. Otherwise, you can write the code here
mm.
also. Okay.
Mm.
So what I will write? Dollar. I first have to trap the click event for that button. Na? So button ID is
Huh.
B1. So if you are using the ID, so you have to write like that hash B1. That means the button or the tag with ID B1. Okay, if
Hmm.
you want to refer from Java from jQuery using the ID, so you have to write hash plus ID code. Okay, just like that.
Hmm.
Dot
Hmm.
click. So you take click event. Inside that click event, see here I am giving the semicolon, and inside that semicolon I am writing that anonymous function. Inside that function, I will write the code here. So what code? Now here I have to change the class
Hmm.
for that what div.
Div.
So what is
Div.
the idea of
Div
div?
ID. D2.
Hash
D1 and D2.
d1
Hash D1.
dot. So there is a nice function called toggle. See here.
Hmm.
You can remove the class, you can add a new class, you can toggle the class. Okay.
Hmm.
So inside that toggle function, what you are doing, you are just specifying that class name. My
First name.
class 2, give a space, and my class 1. That's all. See the effect. So whenever you are clicking on this button, okay,
Hmm.
the class for this tag, okay, will be toggled
Gets
between these
toggle
two.
between this.
If it is my class 2, then it
Hmm.
will be my class 1. If it is my class 1, then it will be my class 2. As simple as that. Let's see. See here. See, the internal color has been changed. The outer color, the border has been just reverse. Click again.
Hmm.
So this is animation. So this is a effect. Okay. Now you can
Hmm.
do the same sorts of effect just by entering this mouse here. If you enter the mouse here, then the background is changing. You can do any sorts of thing using jQuery. You can do all these things using JavaScript. Okay, but in jQuery you have plenty of very easy function to implement, just like that toggle. To do the thing in the
Hmm.
JavaScript, you have to write the logic. Okay, you have to write if else, you have to write a few lines of code for that. But just by calling the toggle class, all things are happening here. You got it?
Okay. This is how it is having library.
Yeah, using that jQuery library. Okay. Okay,
Hmm.
so I think we have to stop here today. We are not
Yes.
able to complete the Ajax part. Hope next day we can do the Ajax part. Just after getting, we will show one more thing in jQuery, how to fetch the data from a form. Okay, for my HTML form, you have to fetch the data because we need that thing in Java Ajax. Okay, and Ajax is
Okay.
going to be important thing. I hope one Ajax code will be there in exam. I don't know. It should be there. Let's see what will happen. So
Okay. Fine.
tell me if you have any doubt here.
Hmm. It's all clear with this.
Okay, just
Just
a
only
minute.
one second. Show me the code of this. The div we changed little bit, no?
Which one?
The little bit the HTML code for this.
This HTML code.
Just a second. Mm, done.
Okay.
Okay, done.
Okay. See, I remember just if you put a class for here my class 2, then it will show my class 2 na with the second div.
Mm. Mm.
The second div will show my class 2. This one. Okay.
Mm.
Now when you click this button, just see,
Mm.
if you want to select the second div, then what you will write? Tell me.
Where
Hmm? No, dollar
ID2.
Second div
I, ID2.
d2, hash d2,
Hmm. Hash D2.
hash d2 dot
Dot
height.
toggle
No, I'm
hide.
not
Okay,
going to change
hiding.
the height. There is one more
Yes,
functions from
means it
jQuery
will.
library. Now
Okay, it
see
will be hit
what
for
will,
200 seconds.
yeah, see here by effect. So the second div is now hidden. Okay,
No.
second div is now hidden. Now if you put some values here, can you guess what will happen? It will give
It
you an
is.
animation.
Mm, the screen is stuck, I think.
Huh?
Not
Sorry.
able to view it. The screen is stuck. Shared it. The screen is.
Screen is not showing.
It is freezed. Yes, it is freezed.
Just a minute.